Hey everybody, it's Ian of Austin. I'm here with Rick Lee, and we're going to go over a couple questions that may come to mind when you are a new agent, or even if you're an agent that's switching brokerages or just want to revitalize your business. And so, Rick and I were on the phone a little bit, and we were having a conversation. I said, you know what this would be good for? This would be a great topic to share with other agents. So, Rick, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell me a little bit about yourself and your business and your area.
Yeah, my name is Rick Lee. I'm from Long Beach, California. I service the Long Beach and Orange County areas. I've been an agent for about a year, but I've been working with real estate agents for about 10. I own a video production company called Prime One Productions. We've been in business for 15 years, and I mostly service sports clients. But I've always wanted to get my real estate business, and I did it during the pandemic, and I'm balls deep right now, but I love real estate. I always have. I've been an investor, and my family's been in real estate for a long time. So I'm excited to be on this journey.
Yeah, and you're in California.
Yep.
Which is, I'll say the draw to California is a lot higher than other places in the United States. Am I correct?
Yeah, no, it's funny. Being an agent, and especially in Southern California, is difficult because the price points are high, and there's a lot of real estate agents out here, right? There's a lot, but that's why I connect with people like you is seeing your success and also trying to figure out like how to stand out from Sally down the street or Bill or Frank or whoever's kind of doing business in real estate. So yeah, it's an exciting place, and there's a lot of people that come here to California, and there's a lot of people that never leave California. Let me tell you.
Yes.
As well, a lot of people talk about people going to Texas and Florida and different parts of the U.S. But there's people that love California and they never leave California as well. So,
I relocated from Chicagoland, I think in 2015. Okay, and when I had the decision, when I had the decision to make. It was my wife and I, she wasn't my wife at the time, but we were looking at Florida or California. We knew we wanted to move south. We wanted to figure out what made a lot of sense, Florida, California, or Texas.
Yeah.
Looked at Florida, rain too much. I was like, I don't like hurricanes, don't like rain. Looked at California. I think it's a beautiful state, all up and down the coast. There's earthquakes and stuff like that. We're not going to talk about that, but the point is that the place is very pretty. Ended up landing in the Austin, Texas area. And I'll say I do love it here, but we have had an influx of people relocating from California to Texas, especially the Austin area, just because of the price point. So I just want to echo that sentiment. It's important for people to understand that when you're collaborating with agents across, and this is part of the discussion, when you're collaborating with agents across the, across the land and the oceans, it's great to understand their markets because there's always a synergy somewhere.
Yep. No, there's a lot of people that leave California. I work with a lot of agents in Arizona and oddly enough, Arkansas as well. I have a couple clients moving to Arkansas. Yeah, I just sold a house a couple weeks ago. I've connected with some people in Arkansas and put them in touch with my clients. And then Florida as well. But yeah, there's a lot of people moving out of California. A lot of people staying, but it's important to connect with agents and like you said, understand their market and figure out how you can provide a better service to your clients.
So I like that you said that. I want to piggyback off that a minute. You said, how can you provide a better service to your clients? So we're going to talk about referrals, but another thing, excuse me. Here we have cedar fever in Texas. And so the cedar trees cause everyone's allergies to flare up every couple of years. And so that's happened to me right now. So apologies. And I've taken tests. I don't have any of that stuff going on. It's just cedar fever.
Yeah.
And then the other half of that is understanding that you have another business that is a lead magnet. Even if it's not on purpose, it's an organic conversation that you can have with agents. I think that's really cool. So I want you to touch on that a little bit, how that's helped your business, and then also your referral process, whichever order makes sense.
Yeah. So just an example, I got flyers printed out for my latest listing that I just sold a couple weeks ago. And I was going around to my neighbors to say, hey, come to the open house. And I was telling them the story like, hey, I've helped these people list their house, get it ready. And I've also connected them with agents out in Arkansas
Mm-hmm.
who are going to help them buy a property. And they're like, oh, you help people from beginning to end? I was like, yes, that's my job, right? So I was telling my neighbor that the other day, and then she was the first person I passed the flyer out to, right? And she was like, oh, I want to sell my house in June when we want to move to Florida. Said, okay. And then the other day she texted me and she goes, I was telling my brother how you helped our neighbor list their house and connected them with an agent in Arkansas, and he wants to move there as well. So it was like a word of mouth thing where it's like, they were like, this guy is full service. He will figure out a way to connect you with an agent that he knows, likes, and trusts, and he'll follow through and make sure that the process is good. Because originally I did connect my clients with another agent originally, and she wasn't answering calls, she wasn't responding, and I'm the one that called her out on it too. I was like, hey, like, we're trying to find them a place. So you know, they appreciated that and respected that. So yeah, it's helped my business because people, you know, they just realize I'm not just trying to help them here, I'm trying to help them to the finish line, right?
Yeah.
And it's also great to connect with agents like you and other people in our brokerages, and even outside of our brokerages. You know, a lot of people try to say, I only work with people on EXP or only Real or whatever. And I think you shouldn't limit yourself, but it also helps you mastermind and kind of just develop your business and see what works in different markets. So I love connecting with other agents. I love referrals. And it's funny, there's a lot of agents that don't really realize and utilize referrals. I don't know if they're lazy or they don't understand it. I'm like,
I think it's understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and also it requires you to make friends with what logically may be an enemy. Like in some people's mind, it's like, no, these are my enemies. I can't be friends with them. But no, really, you have this niche market. Your brand is a niche market. Yeah. And if you connect with these people, you're not going to connect with everybody else. And I don't think that doesn't resonate with everybody. They're like, I can help anybody sell any house anywhere. It's like, okay, you're not the almighty. You're not a deity. You might think this about yourself, but that's furthest from the truth.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember when I first started, there's different conventions and things and, you know, groups that you can go to or events that you can go to and meet other agents. And I basically said to myself, I was like, why would I want to go and meet other agents in different areas? And like, I had no idea, but you know, it's really helped my business and helped me connect with my buyer or seller, whoever that I'm talking to, like just on the referral to, you know, build that relationship, communicate with them, and then connect with another agent and then put them together. Because this business is about relationships, right? Yeah. No matter if it's the relationship with your client or your relationship with other realtors, you have to like respect and appreciate those relationships and make sure that you utilize your relationships to build your business as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love that. So let's see. You have recently joined Real Broker. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Can you just give me a little bit about not necessarily why you left wherever you were at, but why you joined Real? Because we're not about, our culture is not about bad mouthing anybody. It's more like, what is the draw?
No, at first I'll start off and say I was very happy with where I was at, and I learned a lot originally with the team and the group that I was at, and I appreciate and respect everything that I did learn from them. But I'm also I'm attracted to knowledge, and I'm also a martial artist, right?
Really?
And I also work in mixed martial arts for my video production company. The UFC is one of my biggest clients in ESPN, so. Yeah, I'm very humbled when it comes to like learning different arts and stuff. And so when I found out about Real and I saw all the agents and what they were doing, and they were using social media and they were using video, I was like, these are the people that I'm following and I'm watching, and I'm like, I want to join that team because there's people and there's agents that were helping me with like, they weren't asking for anything. They weren't recruiting me. They weren't saying like, come join Real, come join Real. I was like, hey, I love what you're doing. Yeah. Can I jump on a call with you? And can you explain like what's working for you? Because like, I admire and respect, all of your work and everything you're doing. And so to me, the non-hustle, recruiting attracted me, but also the knowledge and the experience and everything that people were doing was like, I was like, whoa, I want to be a part of what they're doing. And just the masterminds that we go on, and we just today, our call today about Instagram and stuff, I was like, mind blown. This is great. This will help me build my business. And that's important.
Yeah. And then everybody, like you said, the people that are in these masterminds at our brokerage, they're doing it. They're not just talking about it. I've seen a lot of people in the industry that talk about what they do and how it's working, but they don't show proof of this. Yeah. And, there's something about the authenticity of just being able to have a direct conversation with someone versus, them being unreachable out there in the ether and them doing, 200 million a year as an agent. And they're just, they're not part of the normal crowd.
Or we talked a little bit about this, like people that are out of production and they're all recruiting and they're telling you how to sell real estate. And I think we both know the industry shifts so much. Like what works 3 months ago is not going to work today, or it might work, but there's something else that you can do. And that's the conversation we had earlier. I was like, hey, I know you've done well on YouTube, you do TikTok, like what's working for you today? And that's where I've realized is like, I've seen a lot of agents that, I've been doing this for 30 years and then they don't have a website, they don't have social media. And yes, they're successful, but they have those downturns and the slow times. And, I'm fully committed to this, and I want to make sure that I don't have those slow times. And, my pipeline is always, full. So that's why, I'm also eager to learn from you and different people and ask questions, because I think that's important. So, yeah.
I love that. And I appreciate that, man. I think, so I was actually in San Diego 2 weeks ago. If we would have had this call 3 weeks ago, I would have hooked up, we would have gotten together.
Yeah.
So it was a convention called Social Media Marketing World. And there's a podcast I listen to called Social Media Examiner. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of that at all?
No, but I will.
There were no realtors there. There were 4 realtors that I knew of. I was one of them. Dan Parker, who's also at Real Broker, and then 2 others that are not at Real Broker, but they will probably be soon, because video is kind of the future. One of the things I learned there was, I've heard this, but it's just reinforced. TikTok is the #1 website visited daily.
Wow.
Period. I don't know how many people I talk to that are like, I don't get TikTok, or I'm not going to do the TikTok thing, or something about dancing kids and all that sort of stuff. But it's 40% of people over the age of 30 are on TikTok. It's not, this is business. This is not about what you like and what you don't like. This is about how you can connect with the people that are paying you to provide them a service.
Yeah.
I think people internalize it. They're like, it's about me and what I don't want. It's like, no. This is about your people and what they do want.
Yeah. It's funny too. And I think a lot of people think, how can I get business right now?
Right this second.
So tomorrow I want my phone to ring. And yes, that's important, right? We all want that. But you also want to connect with people that might be your client in 5 years, right? So that younger generation that's on TikTok might see you and be like, oh, that realtor is cool. I'll follow them or whatever. And they might not buy in 3 to 5 years, but eventually they will, and they will remind you. And if you're connected to them, that's where I think TikTok is valuable. But I also know people, like you said, over the age of 30, 40, 50 that have a TikTok, right? And that watch videos and they learn. I mean, I've learned so much from TikTok. It's crazy. I mean, I tell people that and they're like, they give me the weird face. I'm like, come on, man. Like, knowledge is knowledge, right? Like, doesn't matter where you find it. You've got to be open-minded and you've got to appreciate where it comes from. So I love TikTok, and I think it's a great platform. You do a great job. I love those videos, the walkthrough videos you do. I think they're so engaging and entertaining, and so you've got
it's a different type of knowledge, because this is a long form, right? This is a conversation. This is what tomorrow's generation isn't very good at.
Yeah. Yep.
So TikTok is a fast pace. Give me the answers. I want instant gratification. Anything short form. And that's why with the success of TikTok, you have Instagram Reels, you have YouTube Shorts. I'm sure Google's going to start doing it. Spotify is throwing video on there. You have stories and reels on Facebook now too, because Facebook owns Instagram.
Yep.
And it just that is a type of person. And I don't know that resonates with everyone. Another thing, you said you want the phone to ring tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I love that you said that, because that leads me to this kind of case study.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 weeks ago, I posted a TikTok walking through a new build for one of my clients, and I pointed out some things that were going on. That's it. 60 seconds, maybe a minute and 20 seconds, right?
Yeah.
It took me maybe 10 minutes to get the footage, walk through the house, and make sure I had a good caption for the video.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. 10 minutes. All on my phone, no equipment, right? Today, that video has 851,000 views, 1,200 comments, and a lot of direct messages and leads that have come into my Chime CRM or into my Instagram, slid into my DMs on Instagram. The thing with TikTok is they can't reach out to you directly in a message unless you're following them back. So you have to provide them a way to find you.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: that wasn't your listing though either? And are a lot of those videos your listings that you do?
So this one was a new construction, and I was representing a buyer, and I went with the inspector because I do that. That's just what I do.
Yeah,
Whenever there's an inspection happening and it's the pre-drywall walk, I'm like, let me go check this house out because they're getting ready to cover up the walls. Let me make sure that I'm adding value to my clients. You don't have to be there. Like as a realtor, you don't have to be there, but I like to learn like you do.
Yeah.
So I go there and I listen to the inspectors and I listen to what they say and what they're pointing at. And I'm like, people should get this. I don't know how many people are buying a new construction home and don't think they need a realtor or an inspector.
Yeah.
So I thought, this could be value.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it would blow up like it did, but I've had a few of them do that now.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the weird thing. So I did the recording after the inspector left. I kind of mimicked things that were important, but it wasn't my listing. It was a new construction.
Yeah.
And some of those other houses we'll get to, but I think another thing that was really relevant there is a lot of the comments were, this came at the perfect time. I'm in the process of building now. Or I know who I'm going to hire when I'm buying my house. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
In my comments. And I don't know if you know that. You tell me if you know this. On TikTok, the comments can go viral.
You said that on a call the other day, and I was like, "What? Oh, okay."
So I have a comment on there, and the guy was like, "Hey, look, a realtor that actually knows things."
Mm-hmm.
That's all he said. That comment has over 1,000 likes.
Wow.
So like talk about making the phone ring the next day.
Yeah.
That's 1,000 people I didn't know, and it took me 10 minutes to reach out to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
You're someone that has done YouTube, you've done TikTok, you've done Instagram. Obviously, I'm sure you probably did YouTube. How many years ago you started your YouTube channel?
We'll get to that. Keep going. I'll mention that one in a second.
Okay. So do you still do your YouTube channel? How often do you put videos up? Right. And do you feel like Instagram Reels and TikTok are more valuable than doing, say, a 5 to 10 minute YouTube video?
This is the crux of the conversation. This is what everyone should think through when they're building their brand. Here's my question. Did anyone ever go over building an avatar with you? Like, who is your ideal client and why?
No, but I've thought about that. And it's funny because it's one of those things where, I had an identity crisis, right? Like I was like, I'm a cinematographer, I'm a producer, I produce films and TV and
MMA,
right? Mixed martial arts, some of the biggest fighters are my good friends. And I was like, I'm like, am I an agent or whatever? But now I'm like, now I tell all them and they're like, oh, dude, when we want to buy or sell, we'll call you, so.
This is an industry where being a secret agent isn't a good thing,
Yeah.
You gotta let people know. So the reason why I asked that is because where I feel like, so I've agents that I brought onto the brokerage, so Real Broker, and it's kind of my responsibility to be there for them, share with them. And so I'm actually building a training plan to talk about exactly this. If you have an idea who your client is, you want to be wherever they are. That's one thing that's really important. But also, you have to think about the type of information you're delivering and how that resonates with those people. So like I said, TikTok, any short form is fast, 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 fast. Generally, that's for younger people or people with ADD, which is fine.
Yeah.
So if you like clients that like to sit and think about everything that they do, and they don't squirrel all over the place, well, that's a choice that you can make as a realtor when you're delivering your content. So that's the first thing. Also, the platform is relevant. The reason why I spent more time on YouTube
and you still
originally is because YouTube was purchased by Google. Google is the largest search. It was the largest search engine. Is the largest search engine in the world. It's actually a search engine. And so if I put a video on YouTube, it can last forever as far as people typing in an answer. And if no one else has done a better version of that explainer, then my video should come up if it's applicable. Right? That cannot be beaten by any other platform.
Yeah.
Every other platform has a shelf life. So Facebook, 2 weeks, Instagram, like 4 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Which Instagram is great, but it's owned by Facebook. I feel like Facebook bought it and they're like, okay, we want to use Instagram to copy every other platform, like TikTok and Snapchat, because they got the stories, they got the reels, right? IGTV to compete with YouTube. So they use Instagram as their test bed, and whatever works, they add it into Facebook for all the older people.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. 100% right.
And here's another thing that's interesting and this might sway you one way or the other. Facebook also bought WhatsApp. Yeah. WhatsApp had 1 billion users when they purchased it 3 years ago or something like that, right? Well, if it has WhatsApp, now you have the phone numbers. Your phone number is your only unique identifier today. That's public.
That's true. Yeah.
And you notice when you go into TikTok, when you go into Instagram, when you go into Facebook, it says, who are your contacts? Do you want to sync your contacts so that they can find you? They don't care about them finding you.
Yeah.
They care about now they have more data, tying them in like, oh, that's their phone number. Yeah. And they're connected to this person, this person, this person.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if that sways you either way, but I feel like long form content, YouTube is king. I started in YouTube in 2017, I think. But here's the problem with that. When I started, I had no direction. I just liked technology and I knew that it could go somewhere. And what I did was walk through videos with a 360 camera because I was the guy that had an Oculus Rift. Remember those?
Yeah.
And an HTC Vive, but like first gen, like back when the stuff was beta and and I was like, oh my gosh, you know what this does? This means I could sit on my butt in my office, have my clients come to me, put on a headset, and they can look at 100 houses before we actually have to go out and put in offers.
Yeah.
And that was the idea that I had. Yeah. And started to do those types of videos. And then it just, there's a lot to building a business. I don't know if you know that. Every type of business. So I didn't pursue it because then there's like storage fees and then there's like creating a user interface and now you need programmers and all that sort of stuff. But so I still have videos on there that are like that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, YouTube allows you to search better than anything else. TikTok likes helping people go viral better than anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's why I stick with those two right now.
Do you still do weekly YouTube videos?
I do 2 podcasts on my main channel, my real estate channel. And then occasionally I've been putting out either my shorts, like my short form videos, 1 minute vertical, or like a processed video, like a talking head or walking through a neighborhood or something like that.
Yeah. So you're basically banking on your bank of content done for the last X amount of years, and just putting out, I guess, other content to remind people, hey, I still have the pros and cons of living in Austin, why you don't want to move to Austin, and all that stuff that lasts, like you said, forever.
Well, and it's nice because it creates this sort of opportunity for people who don't know who you are to send it to them. So if somebody's like, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Austin, do you have time for a call? I can actually send them a video on my YouTube channel, and then they can go down the rabbit hole themselves. Right? Not that I don't want to talk to them, but it does save me time. I could say, hey, watch some of these and then hit me up with questions after.
Yeah. Are you still getting leads from YouTube?
I am. In fact, the leads I get from YouTube are actually stronger than the leads from any other source. And the reason why is because YouTube, people do go down that rabbit hole. And if someone's spinning, like we're already 25 minutes in. If somebody is listening to you talk for 25 minutes, they want to know what you have to say.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
100%.
So now imagine if they watch 3 and 4 and 5 videos.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of people like recognize me. Oh, Real Migos or this, or you're on YouTube, or you're that realtor. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, let's get a selfie and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or I had one lady like falling out of her car trying to get a picture. And I'm just thinking, it's so crazy to think that you're building a relationship with people that you've never had a chance to meet.
Yeah.
It's like an actor.
Yeah.
How many actors? I mean, you're in MMA, you're in UFC stuff. Like if Joe Rogan came up to you and he was like, look, man, can I take a picture with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool. Or, hey, you know, I heard you also do real estate. Look, I've got like 3 buddies that want to move to Texas. Can you help them out?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gold. And all because Joe Rogan is still human and he is searching on YouTube for things that he likes to watch. I mean, he has a crew to do it, but he also has his own personal page. You know it.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
So that's how I look at it. I think, I think the leads are stronger from YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love it, man. This is all great information. I think, you know, any agent that, you know, wants to take their career to the next level, I think has to embrace social media, has to embrace video. And the other thing that I wanted to kind of touch on is, you know, I do have very expensive cameras and I do have a lot of gear. And I think some people think I only have to use these expensive cameras. I have to hire a videographer. And I think it's very important that you realize that's not the case, right? The videos that you're doing on your phone and you're walking through homes, this is all with either an iPhone or an Android, right? Like you could still do real high-end content that in the end is going to get you leads. Yes, there are certain things that you should hire a videographer for, correct, right? But I think more importantly, instead of pushing it on a videographer to film, you should focus on your script, what you want to say, all that other things. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So I love this. I think what I would say is the number one most important thing is not video at all. It's actually the clarity of the audio.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes.
It's the clarity 100%. Of the audio. And then if it's not clear, then having captions.
Yeah.
Or having those anyway.
Yeah.
That's number one. Can they hear you and your message well? Number two, do you actually have a message that's valuable, period. And valuable can be funny, like hysterical, if it brings joy, if it evokes any kind of emotion, if it makes people think about themselves and reflect inward, if it's just information that like blows their mind, an idea, that's all value.
Yeah.
So even silly dances on TikTok, people watch them because they wish that they could do it, or they want to align with, like, or they love the way they put it together for the industry they're interested in. Yeah. It's still value.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's the visual clarity.
Yeah.
Right. I think the video quality is third. I think it's important, but it's not important if you don't have a good story or value to share and they can't hear you. Right. Or see what it is that you're saying, that you're trying to share to them.
100%. And it's funny because, you know, I've been doing video production for 15 plus years. And there were times where, you know, even 7 years ago, I get hired to just come shoot a video for a message that someone wanted to put on the internet, right? But now I'm not getting those calls because everyone can do it with this thing right here.
Yeah.
That's so I just want people to realize, like, use your phone. Like, it's just as good, if not better, sometimes in certain situations. And I think some videos look better, kind of dumbed down a little bit, and authentic, because people like to see authenticity, right? Like, they want it to be like, oh, this is from his phone, this is real, this is cool, this is, I don't know. I just think that's important, because I had the mindset, I will say, everything had to be perfect, shot on a, an FS7 or a FX9 or a Canon this, and I'm like, or a Lumix, it's like, yeah, that's all important. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A7 IV.
Yeah.
With a G Master lens.
Yeah.
I am a nerd with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah. But in the end, it comes down to content, and if it's relatable and
every
the message
time
is clear.
So at that conference 2 weeks ago, a lot of the themes were video, whether it was TikTok, IG Reels, or YouTube. Like Sean Cannell was there. I got a selfie with Sean Cannell. I was like, that's cool. I've been watching this guy for years.
Yeah.
So TikTok, it sounds like, based on the themes of all these people that continuously go viral and make hundreds of thousands of dollars even a day, some of these people.
Crazy.
That TikTok not punishes, but doesn't promote videos because they look better. They actually promote it if it's less planned, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
Right. So if you notice, so I have a Google Pixel 6. I paid a little bit of money for it, but it's just like an iPhone 13 Pro or whatever, right? If I kept it at 4K or even 8K, which some of these phones can do, TikTok can't support it. Right? It only does 1080p right now. Yep. Instagram's a little better. YouTube will do 8K.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they do 8K. I know they do 4K. I believe they do 8K now. But anyway, TikTok, 1080p. The thing is, we talked about speed. It's fast.
Yeah.
How long does it take somebody in a rural area to be able to watch a video in 8K? Forever. So they don't want that. They want it to be fast, and they want you to scroll. Every interaction is seconds on TikTok. So yeah, I think it actually hurts you if you spend too much time thinking about it and planning and making it super high quality. It's just supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be casual. You're supposed to enjoy yourself. If you can't smile or, like I said, evoke some kind of emotion, you don't feel human. And TikTok is all about humanity. And all the other apps are like, man, we want people to engage. Well, how do you get people to engage? Being human.
Yep. 100%.
Right. Now, YouTube, on the other hand, if it's going to be a long video like this, I think having a nice camera helps, because I actually have a whole audience that will watch on their TV in their living room. Mm-hmm. If it's a podcast like this, they're either watching on a larger screen like a desktop, right, or they're listening to it in their car when they're driving, and the video doesn't matter anyway.
And the audio has to be good.
And the audio has to be clear. Yes.
Very important.
So
if someone was gonna, if an agent was gonna start a YouTube channel today, right, and they were like, I want the first 5 videos, what are those first 5 videos they should shoot?
I do a podcast with a guy named Jeremy Knight, and he is a realtor in my same space. Who the heck is that guy, right? And he has a lot more followers than I do. What happened is, when the pandemic started, he buckled down and started doing more YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I got to help all these people. And so I stopped doing YouTube videos because I had already been on the platform. No direction, but I had already been on it. Anyway, I bring that up because, we've kind of circled back around. We spend a lot of time together now. We do a weekly podcast, a bunch of other things. I'm going to use his method because it's important. Pillars of content are key for realtors, specifically for realtors. Mm-hmm. And so what he would do, and what I have started to employ, is if you have, let's say, a listing, great. That's a pillar of content. But educational content, where you're talking about either the city or a neighborhood, that's really important, right? Maybe some lifestyle type stuff, but still related to real estate. So I have an example, like 5 bike trails that I like to ride near this neighborhood. It might intrigue somebody who are into that sort of activity.
Yeah.
Like you could be MMA gyms 30 minutes from downtown.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that niches your content a lot more.
Yeah.
But that's what you want. You want YouTube to say, this person is perfect for Rick.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
People don't know that. People are like, I want everybody to see me. But no, you could have 10 views and make $10 million.
If all 10 converted, yeah, right.
Not even if all 10.
Yeah.
If 3 people loved your content and were buying in Southern California, 3 people that are buying houses, give me a place, right? In somewhere in Chula Vista on the Billionaire Mile or whatever. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
You don't need 1,000 people to like your video. You need 10 or 20 or 100. So if you have 1,000, great. It spreads. But at the end of the day, if people aren't sitting there and watching, like even this, we've been on for 36 minutes and I'm only calling out the time because it's relevant to the discussion. If we have people still watching 36 minutes in, and the video only lasted 45 minutes, that's a win. And YouTube will start pushing it out to other people that don't know you.
Yeah.
Quick side note, TikTok, every time you make a post, shares it with people you do know and people you don't know.
Which is important. Yeah.
Which is huge. YouTube doesn't do that unless it thinks it's valuable to the people you don't know.
Yep.
Or they search for the content.
Yep. Love it. Love it. This is all great info. I think any new realtor needs to digest information. It's funny because I'll talk to other realtors and do you guys listen to podcasts? They're like, I have. I'm like, I try to be obsessed with it. Even my son, I drive him to school and he's like, Dad, not another real estate podcast. I'm like,
not another.
You've got to listen to this. You have to listen. So knowledge is power, and what you're doing. And I think a lot of people at Real is sharing the knowledge that makes, our company so strong, and how, everyone's not like, oh, this is my info, I'm not going to share. I think it's great. So love it.
I wanted to add this little link at the bottom because what I'm starting to do is I noticed that there are a lot of good Facebook groups, right? And then at our brokerage, we use, pardon me, I'm sorry, I should have muted that. But at our brokerage, we use Workplace, right? Which is another Facebook product. But there are a lot of people that don't have Facebook. There are a lot of people that don't use social media at all. And I'm not saying that's right. Or maybe they have their admins that use social media. But where do you go right now if you just want to talk to a bunch of agents and not have an agenda? And it could be about anything. It could be sharing memes. It could be talking about, like, asking brokerage questions. Yeah. For most people, where is that you know of?
Clubhouse.
Okay. Clubhouse is great.
Yeah.
Audio only. Can't see the people. Yeah. That's a problem. Where else?
I guess like you have it here, Discord, right? Like
Discord. So I created a Discord community just for realtors for that sole purpose. Just for creating a community with realtors across the globe that don't have to be pigeonholed into a social media, and it's free. And if anybody's used Slack, it's like Slack.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, except Slack it costs you money as you scale people and you want to use some of the services. So this is a free version of that. And if you're into Web3 stuff, heard anything about that? Like,
no. Yeah.
So Web3 stuff is like your NFTs, your metaverse, and crypto, right? That kind of stuff. Discord is the platform for Web3 stuff. Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to be into Web3 stuff, but it just means that it's a great platform to be able to have communication. It does video, it does audio, just like Clubhouse. Does everything. So it's cool.
Nice. Cool, man. This has been a great conversation. I appreciate you having me on the podcast, and hopefully we do it again.
I appreciate you, Rick. Thank you so much. And if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how would they do that other than in the Realtor Discord on Real Agent Answer?
Instagram, Rick J. Lee Homes. YouTube, Rick J. Lee Homes.
Cool.
Facebook, Rick J. Lee Homes. Yeah.
All right. What I'll do is I'll make sure that that information is also in the description below this video so that people can find you. And again, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Have yourself a good day.
You too.
Bye.